Hello everybody, 8:20 a.m. We're over here walking. How are you? How is everything in your world? I hope good. Sunday morning. Went up to 84 yesterday. I anticipate that's probably the same for the day. I haven't looked, but I go out and do some jog walking here. My patented term, my trademark term. So, if you use it, please send me a check. I'll let you it's 10%. It's 10% of any revenue. Just send that to me. Appreciate it. See all this? All these stores? None of this was really here 5 years ago. Changes. Well, okay, officer, this is how it went. Oops. Alright. I was watching a YouTube channel called Real World Police. Real World Police, check it out. The guy gets, guy or girl, whatever, gets footage from real events. Like, let's say there's a body cam footage available from a arrest. He gets that body cam footage somehow. Public records request is how he does it. Because those are, in fact, public records. Every day that I came by through here, every day that I came by through here, the guy that was sitting here was had a needle in his arm. Or every other day that I came by. And he lived right there. I mean, he was there. That's just where his spot was, But that was the first time I'd see the needle in the arm as I walked by. As he shot up, like, I hadn't seen it, like actually in the arm. But I don't know what happened, but it got all burned up, his spot there. But he was there for, I don't know, a couple months. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. So, I wonder if that was on Real World Police. All right, so this YouTuber guy gets the footage, and it's surprising the number of public officials, city council people, university presidents. Even police, regular, other police, that when they're pulled over or are in trouble with the police, usually traffic infractions, a lot of traffic stuff, who give the police a hard time and insist in some fashion, in some way, in some form, that they are special. Not the let's say the driver, the motorist, let's say. I mean, it's over and over and over. It's dozens of these videos, and then they have different. It's not just motorists being pulled over. There's different, some of it's bad things police are doing. Beating up people that are in handcuffs or something like that. Yeah. So it's not just. But my point is about these city officials, elected officials, school board members, trying to get out of their situation by doing the "Do you know who I am?" routine, and the patience of most of the patience of the police officers in dealing with it. I didn't realize how much patience you have to have as a police officer. You just have, and of course, then you'd have to make the judgment call on when not to have patience. When to. And let's just say it real quick, because I know somebody's going to be. I'm not saying the police don't make mistakes, and that there's not bad police officers. There are, but I'm just talking about my observation in watching these videos. The patience of there's a lady would not give her driver's license, insurance, and registration, and the officer says, driver's license, insurance, and registration. She's on the phone. She's like, I'm going to call so-and-so. This is just a regular lady. This wasn't a city council. He goes, driver's license and registration. And then you see her on the phone. This is from his body cam. You see her on the phone. He's like, ma'am, driver's license, insurance, and registration. And you hear her on the phone saying something like, I just got pulled over by this police officer is insisting that blah, 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 blah. And he's like, he just keeps repeating it. And I thought what would be interesting is if they kept a count. Like if, you know how you go, and when you were playing flag football or touch football or tackle football when you were a kid, and you go 1,1001, 1,1002. Well, maybe you didn't do that, but when I was a kid, you'd have a count so that before the other team could rush, they had to count out. You know, so that gave the one team time to throw the ball or run, whatever. So the one team would go hike, and then if you're on defense, you'd go 1,1001, 1,1002, 1,1003, and on 3 you could rush. And then you'd agree on that time limit. You know, usually 2 or 3 seconds, right? 3 seconds? That's plenty of time. What are we doing? So I thought it'd be funny if he just counted it out, like what does he say? Driver's license, insurance, and registration 1. Because he says it, he must say it like 30, 40 times. And he keeps repeating it. So she's delaying. And finally he says, step out of the car, ma'am. And at that point, she says, I'm trying to find my driver's license. I'm thinking, man, you gotta be so patient. Step out of the car, ma'am. I'm trying to get you. You asked for my license. 3rd time. So this is what, he should have counted that one too. Step out of the car, man. 3. Step out of the car, man. 4. So that way, when it goes to trial, or if it does, you know, it's easier to remember. The judge can say, well, how many times did you ask? It was 27 times, Judge. Well, you have a very good memory. A, it's on the video, but B, I count them. I count them on the fly. So it's easy to remember. But anyway, it is amazing how many times people play the I'm special card. And guess what? You're not. At least in this particular transaction, you know, you may or may not have broken the law, whatever it is. You go to court to determine that. But right now, you're under arrest for speeding. You're under arrest for running a red light, whatever it is, or we're investigating. And just amazing. A university president was getting all, and her staff were getting all crazy. It was, I think it was, let's see. Oh, Rutgers. Yeah, it was Rutgers. It was the former Princeton president, now at I better be careful because I don't remember exactly.
Yes.
But it was something like a former official at Princeton who is now an official at Rutgers. And like a big deal, like I'm going to say maybe the provost or so. I don't know. But, you know, like maybe the head of the Holy, I don't know, the president, I'm not sure. But her her driver And the comments, some of the comments are so funny. But anyway, so this important university person, let's go with provost because I don't know, of Rutgers. Her driver, okay, so it's her and her staff are in this black car, and she has a driver, and the driver bumps another car. So the protocol of the university is that no one can leave if there's an accident. So it was barely an accident, but he did bump another car, and it was enough of a bump that they had to, the university security said we have to follow the rules. We have to take statements, and we, just like it was a real big accident, you have to go through the whole thing. It's part of the university rules. Well, she's like the head of the university, or like a very important person of her own university, and they're like, her team was like, you saying this to the security police of their own university, you don't understand. We have to catch a plane. And to the credit of the Rutgers University, I think it was Rutgers, University of New Jersey. Nice memory. Maybe I have to work on my memory more than I said. Yes, ma'am. It's protocol with the university that we go through this procedure. He barely touched the other car. We had to catch a plane, and her staff are going. Her staff now, scolding the security. You are not handling this right. We have to catch a plane, and this situation requires you to think, like basically talking down to them like they don't know what, like they're idiots. And what you do is just write down our names and let us go, and then we sort it all out later. And the security person's like, thank you, ma'am, for the advice. However, like they just kept going back to the university protocol. And it didn't look like they were taking too long. They had to do it. They just have to do it the way they have to do it. Well, we've all dealt with government. It's just, and it was their own university. Right? It's not like these guys are making this up. This was their own university. Now this wasn't an arrest situation. It was just a fender. That wasn't even a fender bender. It was a fender bumper. A fender bump. And a poor driver. He's like, he's pulling away. They get in, and this is before the video starts. They get in, outside the office, wherever they picked him up on campus, and he's pulling out to take him to the airport, and he, nicks or the other car in front of him as he tried to pull out. He didn't leave enough room. Oh my God, it was funny. It was YouTube. The comments on many YouTube videos are just horrible, like just terrible, horrible. They're also, some of them are also really funny. Somebody wrote something like Black Ford Taurus. The head of Princeton would have had a town car at least, something like that. Something like that. Oh man. Super funny. But anyway, Taurus. Hey man, it shows that they're being frugal. It's a state university, isn't it? Isn't Rutgers a state university? I don't know. this alert is happening every other day now. This silver, silver alert, missing endangered elderly. Details, click the link, blah, blah, blah. Every day, every other day, I get that alert of something. Amber alert or something. Scary world, getting that many alerts. Well, I'm supposed to be running by now, or jog walking, but I ate a banana right before I left, and it's remember when you were a kid? Don't eat 15 minutes before swimming. Wait 15 minutes before swimming after eating. You just pictured yourself, out there, you eat your lunch as a kid, you go out swimming, all of a sudden your stomach knots up and you sink to the bottom. That was what I thought. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die out here, man, if I eat and then go swimming. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Some of the other ones. What do they have? There's one lady in New Mexico. She's a some kind of elected official in New Mexico. Like a state senator or something like that. She was just driving home, and somebody hit her. I think if I remember this right. Somebody bumped into her. I don't think she did anything wrong on the initial stop. She was the victim of somebody hitting her. So in the investigation of that accident, they also arrested her for DUI. that's a bad luck day right there. When you didn't do anything and you still get arrested. But she played the various special cards. But it didn't work. And then, so I followed up a few of these stories, and it's always so-and-so apologizes to the police or the security team and security guards or whatever. Their medication ran out. They were, whatever. There's this soccer player that was in the U.S. women's. I can't show it too much because the YouTube copyright system will think you're copying something, but something with copyright. But she has I'll just do it real quick. She has a tattoo of California on her arm. I have to be honest, I forget her name. Isn't it? Last name is like Rapinoe or something like that. I don't know. I read an interesting article. The women's Olympic soccer team won, of course, the Women's World Cup. And, they dominate the sport, and they have for a long time. And yet they get paid less than members of the men's World Cup team who, were eliminated early on. I don't follow it that close. And, there's discussion, questions, comments that this again shows that women are not getting paid the same as men for the same job. So the article I read in, I forget, somewhere online, said that it's not necessarily the case in this situation for the women's soccer team, because they said that the women actually get paid more than the men as a percentage of the revenue of the sport. That women's soccer organization, U.S. Women's Soccer, maybe, brings in about $30 million a year, and the men's brings in $450 million. And that the prize money allocated to the women from the organization, I'm not sure I'm explaining this right, but somebody that knows soccer is going, your numbers are off. But essentially, the pool of money available in the men's game is much higher. And the amount that they give to the players is lower than the percentage allocated to the women from their pool of available money. And so the argument is you can't compare the two because men's soccer is much more popular worldwide. Gotta go over this way. I don't really know enough about it. I mean, I understand that. It's a simple concept, but it seems like there's more to it. I remember when I first heard that. It's a long time ago. Somebody said statistically women get paid less than men for the same job. And I just thought, it just didn't make any sense to me. What do you mean? Why would they pay less to anybody for the same job? Now, if it's a sales, if it's, based on your revenue or whatever, but your basic job, what's the difference? Let's say it's a dishwasher. It didn't compute in my head. I'm not sure it still does. Like, what do you mean? I said, no, you're kidding, you're joking. They said, no. If you look at statistics, women get paid less than men for the same job. I think this is a while back, and I just remember, no, if you're a dishwasher, that's the job. We have an opening for a dishwasher, it pays X. You hire the person, they wash the dishes, everybody goes home. What? So I said, why would that ever be? Why would you ever do that? And they said that this is probably back in the 90s, maybe? Maybe even 80. I don't know, it was a long time ago. And they said that companies, this is just some person I was talking to, I forget, maybe somebody I worked with. They said that companies, or traditionally they said women have been paid less because they leave jobs, and company doesn't want to, pay money to somebody that's going to leave, something like that. I said it still doesn't make sense to me. You have a job. This is in my head. I just didn't compute. Okay, we need X job done. We hire the best person. Could be a man, could be a woman. We pay them money, and everybody goes home. I don't know. They negotiate higher or lower. This will sound really ridiculous. Some jobs I had, I didn't want more money because it was just a day job. I was developing my comedy, and I thought, I know this is dumb, but I thought, I don't want to, in my mind, think, oh, this is my career, these day jobs that I had. I just wanted to be a day job. And I do a good job. I always got I got raises, I got performance bonuses, I was good. But I didn't really go in and, I demand a raise, which you should do. You should do. If you're not, for whatever reason you're not getting a raise. or a better answer is, I didn't go to other places that paid more in my industry. And you say, well, you should have been by now have developed. If that's the case, and you were so serious about speaking and comedy, you should have been a lot farther along. And the answer is, you're right. You are right. I think that's a siren, air raid siren. Camouflaged as a daffodil, giant daffodil or something. Lily. Guys, no, you're right. I should be a lot part of the one. Speaking of air raids, I've been reading on these articles lately about things you should do. It's a little dog park right here. I don't know if you can see the dogs. Things you should do in case of an earthquake. Somebody please tell me, why do they put shoes on dogs? What is the point of that? I'm sure there's a good reason. I just don't know what it is. Things you should do in the case of an earthquake, and I thought, I'm reading this and I'm thinking, there's not a lot you can do. I mean, as I'm reading, they're saying, stay in bed, don't run outside. Others say, run outside. So there's conflicting advice sometimes, but they say let's say you're going with the don't run outside. Well, somebody said, one article said, use the triangle technique or the teepee technique, where you lay next to, but not under, like a sturdy desk or something like that. Therefore, if something falls, it will not hit you. It'll fall at an angle. It'll lay on top of the thing that you're laying next to, and you'll be inside the triangle of the leaning debris. And I thought anything falling on a desk is going to crush the desk. You know, just as I'm reading these things, I just thought, you know what? In the case of a huge earthquake, you're either toast or you're not. It just doesn't seem like you can do that much. Now, you should still prepare, like get water, lots of water, because the water lines might be cut. You might be going without water for a long time. That's what they're saying. That's a smart move, you know. That kind of thing makes sense to me. In terms of stay in bed, not stay in bed, don't run outside, run inside, you know what I mean? Some people say if you run outside, you know, you could get hit by other things, falling things. It just seems to me, in that particular sense, that there's not a lot you can do if it's that big of an earthquake. But I could be wrong. But yeah, water and all those other foodstuffs, you know, like army rations or whatever it is. Cans of food that last, you know. Because if it's a big, huge earthquake, you know, you may not have food, and they may not be able to get to you. You may not be able to leave. Your cars might be gone. You know, it just might be a situation where you don't have any water or food. I'm going to try doing a little jogging here. Just doing some very light, very short jogging runs, just trying to slowly get back into it. When I was running a lot, I used to do, occasionally I would do wind sprints just for fun. That is so much fun, just to run as fast as you can, like when you were a kid. But that's been at least 10 years since I've done that. That's been at least 10 years. See, when you get older, folks, you talk more and more about the distant past. This kind of jogging style are these little short jog runs. The kind that you might do if you're just crossing the street and you're trying to get across quickly. That's me running. I read an article that said Fitbits don't work. Fitness trackers don't work. Studies show that often people that use Fitbits to try to lose weight, track their goals, they actually gain weight. It seems like today, almost any science can prove the opposite. Or not prove, but there's a case for the opposite. Like I don't think anti-vaxxers can actually prove anything, but they build this case. It's a two-tone car cover there with print/solid. A couple blocks south of here, there was a wheel on the sidewalk, like a tire, and it was attached to a boot that they put on your car when you know what I mean. And they boot your car, but the boot and the car and the wheel were there, the tire, but no car. So it looked like they were able to remove the tire from the car and then just leave the boot and the tire on the side of the road. Which if that's what happened, that's pretty funny. I'm not sure you're able to do that. In other words, they said, screw you, I'll just give, I don't need the tire. The tire will be less than whatever the fines will be. So therefore, I'm removing the whole thing. Well, I don't think you could do that. If you could do that, other people would probably do it, right? But it was there. It looked like a boot. It might not have been a boot, but let's go this way. Let's get a little bit more jogging in. Jog. It's not a jog. It's more like a cry for help. I've seen a lot more of these covers. They almost look like, some of them almost look homemade. But having lived in this neighborhood for a very long time, there are a lot of debris and bird dung and everything you get on your car on any night. These guys are filming something here. This guy is jogging. That's the democratization of technology. Everybody's a filmmaker now. So they're shooting something. In addition, there's always something being shot in LA. Look how blue that building is. It reminds me of one of the main buildings of the Church of Scientology here in town. It's really blue. That deep, dark blue. And that's why they call it the Big Blue. All right, guys. I know that wasn't much, but That's all we're trying to do. A little bit more, a little bit more. Every day. Thanks for checking in on this daily dose of Ditzel, which I promise eventually will be daily. Yeah, I find I have a slight problem with your brand. You're not doing it daily, sir. That's true. We'll get it fixed. Have a good Sunday.